I feel really energized as I slept so hard I almost died. But I also kind of feel a little bit like crap because I haven't had, outside of like sugar in my drinks and like natural sugars in food, I haven't had sugar in quite some time. And yesterday I had 4 of the little Debbie Snack Devil food cake things. And I gorged, y'all. I indulged and I gorged and I shouldn't have, and I think I went into a diabetic coma maybe. But I'm alive, I'm here, we're doing well, and I won't be doing that again. Back to enjoying my snack cakes responsibly, maybe 1 a day. But I couldn't help it, y'all. As a child, I always loved the little Debbie, Devil's food cake. They're the little circular black cakes with a little swirl on it and the fudge topping. I really loved them as a kid. I've never enjoyed their whipped cream filling. So when I got the cake as a child all the way up to adult, I always thought, this is pretty good, but damn, I could go without the filling. I often thought, I wish I had somebody that enjoyed filling. That way I could, rip it in half and give them the filling out of it. And they could have like half of the top part too. Either way, they have cured my problem of a partner need by making the thing smaller. Now they come in little packs of 2, and it's basically equal to being 1 cake. I do realize what they did to my fellow fat asses who were like, wait, you stole a cake from us. Because it's the same price as a basic 1 pack. And yeah, y'all, they stole a cake from you. I'll tell you, they stole a cake from you. It's the same price, you're getting less product, just in a smaller package. But honestly, if you don't mind paying the same price for 1 less cake, and you're like me and it's more about the mouthfeel and taste, the Little Debbie Tiny Devil's food cakes are real good. Not an ad read, just saying. I tried one yesterday, had too many of them. And outside of that, it's been a pretty slow, chill couple days. Got some more golems made, got to make a few more picks, and we're going to hollow out and build this base up a little bit while we're here. And I need to put some more armor racks up, apparently. Also, for background noise, in case you hear it, we're about to play. My girl Hannah finally made another video again. Not a show, not a host, not a stream. She made her a whole video, y'all, and I would really, really appreciate it if you would go give her a watch and a follow, possibly. Or just check it out. It's Hannah Reloaded, and it's a video on medbeds, which is something our idiot president talked about like they're a real thing. Y'all, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. They are not. Not yet. Possibly not ever. Because medicine doesn't quite work like that. But that being said, she made her a medbed video, and it's been about a day. It keeps going on and off, so I'm guessing she's doing some editing to it or something. I watched it 3 or 4 times. It's still entertaining even after 3 or 4 times. The first time it was pretty damn good, so y'all, like I said, go give her a check out. Scared the crap out of myself. Oh, that was almost so bad. We gotta put a railing up. But go give her a following, possibly. She's Hannah Reloaded, and she's a really cool trans creator. Yeah, not a gimmick, just who she is, but I guess kind of a gimmick considering it's a rarity nowadays. Either way, she's really cool. Check her out. Let's turn on her video without further ado, and turn it up a little bit so I can make sure y'all can hear it. This new phone, y'all, it's awesome, but I gotta remember, it's got speakers, y'all. She got speakers for days. If I don't remember to turn it down, I'm gonna be annoying the crap out of David. So let's take it back by... I've only been listening to about a minute of it again, so we're restarting it from the beginning. And while that do, let me run up here and get some railings done. Rain's not going out in that. Also, can the golems die, y'all? Because I should have at least 2 golems up here. I think I need to make more golems. sad face. I think my golem's died. Not little Rusty and Trusty. Oh, well. We'll make more. I love the new iron golems, y'all. They are awesome. Rusty, you're still around. Fuck yeah, buddy. I was afraid y'all had wandered outside. Outside, it's dangerous, little buddy.
Alternative health scams are nothing new. The 20th century was littered with scam medical devices and miracle cures that only existed to separate unsuspecting victims from the contents of their wallets. And hey, let's say you're a World War I veteran trying to deal with your shell shock. Why wouldn't you pick up a Virex ozone generator to cure what ails you? Hair loss getting you down? No problem. Slap a vacuum chamber on that shiny dome of yours, we'll suck those stubborn hairs right out into the sunshine where they belong. Suffering from aches, pains, asthma, or even the dreaded rheumatism? Slap this radioactive pad on, and I'm sure that'll do something. Right? But today, of course, we know better than to be taken in by these low-grade hucksters. We're enlightened people of the 21st century. We have access to more knowledge and technology than any generation that has ever come before us could even imagine. We can communicate instantaneously with the touch of a screen and... Oh, that's the President of the United States sharing an AI medbed scam video. Breaking now. President Donald J. Trump has announced a historic new healthcare system.
Y'all, do I need to tell you if someone falls for this medbed scam, we need to check on their mental well-being? Because again, sorry, but if medbeds were a thing, that would be the end of all medicine. And in a good way. I'm not saying it would be bad. I'm just saying you would immediately know, because no doctor worth their salt would go, no, let me put you through a painful and rigorous long-term therapy, when instead you could just lay in this bed, read the first book of Cirque du Freak, and ba-bing, ba-boom, you're fine. No doctor would say, no, take my way. Medbeds don't exist, y'all, and if and when they do exist, you'll know almost immediately. Because people will stop dying. Also, you'll stop noticing injuries as much. No one will ever need a cast, just lay them in a medbed and poof, they're done. But that's the thing. It's also kind of why we know they don't exist. Don't buy into the president's nonsense. He's a dumbass. Don't be a dumbass like him. Also, don't share AI videos, y'all. You're better than that. Use them for fun if you must, but don't share that shit. You're better than that.
This is the beginning of a new era in American healthcare.
In this first phase, only a limited number of medbed cards will be released. Registration details will be announced very soon.
Ruh-roh, chat.
Okay, I guess we gotta talk about
Honestly, I give credit to Hannah for her acting. If this might not be acting, but it looks like she just turns nervously to the screen. Well,
showing off miracle medical pods for decades, from Star Wars' Bacta tanks to the sarcophagus from Stargate, the med bays of Elysium, and even that bed that turned Jason Voorhees into a sweet cyborg in Jason X. That one happens to be my favorite, by the way. Look at this boy. He's the best boy. Look at how happy he is. Even outside of these few examples,
he's the happiest murder machine ever did exist. If you haven't seen Jason X, don't go into it seriously. Like, it's not like a serious chapter in the franchise. But if you go looking into it for fun, y'all, it's beautiful. It's a awesome movie. There's one scene where the main character, like, they try to trick Jason to trap him, and they give him dumb, and I swear dumb, college teens at a camp who are just topless and, hey, come play with us. He grabs a sleeping bag and just beats one to death with the other one. But when someone walks in, you just hear, I'm dead. It was very, you could tell they didn't take it seriously as a chapter of Jason's story. But it was still awesome.
By slipping these images into fiction ahead of time.
The Simpsons is the biggest example of how the media predicts the future.
I mean, I don't know of another horror movie that did it first, but at one point, the dumb teacher character who's banging one of the students goes, It's alright, y'all. We gave him his machete back. That's all he wanted. Well, y'all, even if you've never seen Jason, can you guess what the crazed serial killer did with his machete that he was given back? Yep, yeah, I heard it over the radio. But, like I said, just go check out Jason X. People say it's garbage, and yeah, if you took it as, oh, this is a serious part of the Jason franchise, it's kind of garbage. But if you take it as what it is, just a sort of, hey, let's have fun, it's a good movie. I own the movie. Well, I own the DVD. It's worth it. I think I still own the DVD. If I don't, it got stolen and or donated.
Q's cryptic posts, or drops, suggested that a secret cabal of elites controlled world events, and that Donald Trump was engaged in a hidden battle to expose and defeat
Either way, y'all, I hope your
Over
day's
time,
off as
these
good a
vague
start as
predictions
mine.
gave rise to an entire mythology that absorbed older conspiracy tropes from the Satanic Panic to deep state paranoia and adapted them to the digital age. Even as Q's specific predictions consistently failed, the movement endured by reframing missed prophecies as proof of hidden timelines, deeper secrecy, or the continued need to trust the plan. The mantra often continually spouted by QAnon adherents.
Hey, now, as a crochet artist, I often say trust the process, because otherwise it looks like shit till we get to the end. I chant that shit like a goddamn mantra, y'all. Trust the process, trust the process.
And their anxieties. One of these was the idea of medbeds, fantastical machines said to be capable of curing all disease, regenerating tissue, even reversing aging.
Picture a world where diseases are cured at the quantum level. Injuries are healed instantly.
I mean, it would also give us new definition on what's disease and what's difference, you know? Because for the record, when I was a kid, being mentally handicapped in any way was still considered a disease. Nowadays, if you've been diminished, that's a disease. If you're just born that way, it's how you are. But also, we've discovered they're not mentally different, they just process differently. It's sort of like how a grinder and a smasher, I'm trying to think of kitchen tools here, but it's like how several tools do the same thing, just in different ways. In that sense, mentally handicapped, as we learn to call it, or autistic, or on the spectrum as it's called now, they're not, you know, handicapped. That's why we stopped calling them that. They're not handy-capable, because that sounds stupid. But they're processing it differently than we are. Not in a bad way, just a different way. I say, it's different. I don't know. I'm trying to work on my descripting factors better as I'm going for this whole internet speaker bit.
A certain date and release of their own medbeds, and they're going to release it. And I know
outside of that, it's been a pretty quiet day on our Western Front, I'm happy to say. More shootings in the, you know, country than I care to think about, but you know, as far as we go, chat, we're doing aces. David's about to get himself a new car. Well, new to us. And once he's settled out, I'll be able to put more, like, hard time into finding a job. Well, another job. Till then, I'm just enjoying my impromptu vacation, because it's so rare that I get them.
Are you guys okay? No, we're definitely not okay. Our healthcare environment is so bad, so disastrous, that a non-zero number of the residents of the United States literally think it's more likely that aliens from outer space will show up and help deal with their health issues than for the government to actively do something for the benefit of the populace. So...
And that's insane, y'all. Can we talk about how insane that is as a healthcare plan? The American healthcare plan and the way that now our president is backing this medbed nonsense. Y'all, you realize this means to the highest corners of the land, our government thinks it is a better option for aliens to come down and give us magical medical cures rather than the government spending our tax dollars on medicine? That's insane, right? I'm not the only one who sees how in-fucking-sane that is, right? Just saying, that's part of the wind-up, y'all. I talk about current events going on as well. And I find that to be a little bit wow. Because, yeah, y'all, we could have good medical care. Easily. We could have it today if the government put their mind to it. All it's a matter of is taking some of our war bucks that we spend on murdering Middle Eastern children and instead putting it towards hospitals and education and training. I mean, I'd say if we put a quarter of our war budget into bettering the American citizen, we could at least get onto the same level as some of these other countries we deal with on the daily. But that's just me. Honey, my foot's asleep. Please stop doing that. Alice, the sweet dog, is currently trying to get my attention. With my foot asleep, though, it feels real weird. But yeah, y'all, it ain't gonna be all negative. Hopefully, much of it ain't gonna be negative. If I can help it.
Mistrust of experts and established institutions, mainstream doctors, scientists, and medical researchers were reinterpreted as villains working to conceal cures and perpetuate suffering for profit. By contrast, anonymous posters, YouTubers, and self-styled digital soldiers within the QAnon community were elevated as the only reliable sources of truth. This inversion of authority allowed believers to dismiss all contradictory evidence as part of the cover-up, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of mistrust where the lack of credible proof, paradoxically, strengthened the conspiracy's appeal. The movement offered its
Now for this, we're probably going to put a little bit of an overbite to this ledge, that way we can walk along the edges. But we're definitely going to take it out a lot further than this, that way you get a good view of the tower.
Because it rejects the slow, incremental, and often imperfect progress of real science.
Now, unfortunately, y'all, this part might get a bit boring because there's not going to be a lot of ore. Probably just a whole lot of concrete moving. No, cobblestone. But once we get a big enough skylight put into where we can actually see the sky from in here, we'll be able to get a better judgment, and when the weather's not rainy or dark, we'll go outside and put some roads down, maybe. Maybe even build in a few more houses.
My son has level
Who
4
knows?
cancer, and I was hoping he would be able to get help. He's still very much in the dark about what's going on and believes I'm in a cult. Shirley.
Oh god, it's Sky. Y'all, I like to sexist this. Hold down in my heart that I won't hit a woman. I mean, even if we're in a match, I'll try to hit a woman if we're in a match out of, like, respect. I would deck Sky Prince so fucking hard. She's an Australian woman who sells this medbed scam to people. And honestly, sometimes she's amusing, but most of the time she just inspires me to violence because, y'all, if you're taking advantage of someone who wants a medbed, I don't blame the medbed wanters. They clearly have something going on that they require medical attention, and their government has abandoned them. But don't take advantage of them, y'all. Help them if you can. I mean, good God. I expect our government to be evil, but can the citizens at least take care of each other? That needs to be the response to your government being evil, not making it worse.
Not the new one that people claim we're on, but the old one.
Prince presented herself as a whistleblower and insider, claiming access to secret 5D medbeds that could cure virtually anything.
Also, this is your public warning. If you are toothless and you enjoy things like nachos or other hard surface chips, put your teeth in, dumbass. For that, I'm talking to me. That's mostly anger at myself. I was lazy yesterday after I had prepared for bed and got a little peckish in the night. Wanted a snack. Went to get some nachos and some queso blanco dip. They were good, they were delicious, and then I stabbed my mouth with a chip. Just saying, Chad, if you got dentures, wear your dentures before you try to eat hard food. That's what they're there for. Don't be dumb like me. Don't be sitting here the next day sounding all gummy because you can't put your teeth in while your mouth heals up. To make matters worse, did I, you know. Did I take a beating in a hard fight? Did I? No, 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 no. This is directly because Tostitos makes a fine chip. And I didn't have my teeth in. I'm paying for my crimes, chat. Don't be like me. If you got bad teeth or you got prosthetics to protect your mouth, use those prosthetics for chip eating, chat. They're delicious and dangerous. Just playing. I'll be okay, y'all. Probably by tomorrow I'll be back to normal. It's just today I did a little bit of damage to that chip. Gums are soft.
Entire medbed mythology is the fact that the government getting these beds from aliens or extra-dimensional beings, of course, are going to give these technologies to the populace for free. Remember, this is a narrative about the start of a new golden age where everything will be exactly the way it's supposed to be.
I also don't think there is a such thing. I think the golden age is mythical, like the noble leader.
Whatever they want. So Sky can't come out and
There are no noble leaders, y'all. Hot take. If it's a lady, they're either searching for power because of what's been done to them, or they're searching to never have anything like that done. They're not heroes. Or if it's a dude, more than likely, most of the time when it's a dude in charge of a cult, they're looking to get their dick wet. They're the real incel types and just cannot get a girl, so they're trying to become a cult leader to try to get a girl. Either way, there's no such thing as a noble leader. There's people that see leadership as needed and they'll take advantage of it. You want a noble leader, you're looking for a comic book. And even there, I'd say like several noble leaders in comic books, like Professor X. Y'all, Professor X sent, and spoiler alert, but I'm not giving you exact here, but Professor X sent, Cyclops. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head for some reason, even though he's a main character. But they sent, Xavier sent him on a mission which got all of his team killed, Doom Patrol style. And then Scott's his name. And then rather than helping Scott through that, or admitting he had done wrong, or anything, Professor X just wipes those people out of his mind. Imagine how horrifying that would be. Your best friend in the whole world died being a hero by your side, trying to better the cause. And then your leader just wipes them out your head completely. They never existed. That's fucked up, yeah? I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't hate Professor Xavier. He's a man in a war. I'm just saying, there is no noble leadership, and I didn't put a railing up, did I? That being said, leaders aren't necessarily bad. There has to be a leader for the group, you know? I just think that leader needs to take it as what it is, which is a necessary thing. It's not, you didn't do anything special to get it, you just got chosen for it, you know? But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a place where leadership is chosen due to a hard selection. I just haven't seen it. Most places it seems to be, how good are you at taking the boss's bullshit and smiling about it? How good are you at lying to other people about this shit gonna be positive in some way? I suck at lying, and I don't believe in exposing people to bad things that I wouldn't do myself. I see why I'll never be a leader in this world. Alright. Let's hollow this out a bit more, shall we? See what we can see from a distance. Also, we got at least 15 of these white bricks to use. And for the record, I have no reference for that whole noble leader bit. That one's just out the dome, you know?
She says is the medbed technology requires you to have a frequency vibration on a fifth-dimensional level. If you're saying, what does that mean? Oh, that's a whole different video. It's basically a conspiratorial trope in which people take the idea of enlightenment, the idea of spiritual enlightenment, and turn it into a scale. They call it 3D, where you and I live.
Danny, what
That's
you
where
doing on a bun?
norms are. 4D, you're starting to become awake. 5D, you're enlightened.
If you're hearing a little peep, that's just Ben scratching his own belly.
If you get
like a
training
cute
from
bubba.
her, which she'll
Every
give
time he
you
does it, he
pricing
thumps
on
his big old paw on the
her,
floor.
then you can raise to 5D, which is necessary
Poor
to
boy.
interface with the med bed.
Yeah,
So
you
she's
the
not
cute
charging
Benny. Why you doing that right
for
next
the
to where I'm
med
working,
beds.
no,
She's
honey?
charging you for classes to allow you to use the med beds. I've also seen other scammers charge registration fees, and I think her new thing is
Okie dokie.
university,
Now we
basically,
just... Nope,
where,
never mind. I thought that now we just need to go get
she'll
more
train you in the use of
diatorite.
med beds if you want to run your own med bed center. Basically, I guess what I'm trying to get across is it's a bunch of woo-woo stuff where she pretends the med beds are free, but goes out of her way to talk about how important this spiritual enlightenment is for the med beds, and if you just give her money, well, don't worry. Once the med beds come, you'll be first in line, because you'll already be attuned to the higher frequencies necessary in order to utilize them.
I don't have to tell y'all if someone offers you something for free and then asks you to pay for it, that's not free. I know my chat's got big old sexy brains.
Heavily distorted conspiratorial worldview, so a lot of it is just kind of weirdly esoteric nonsense. I wish it was more solid. I wish I could just say to these people, like, none of this is real. But once you're so deep into it that your entire understanding of, like, the cosmology of the
You
universe
two play nice.
all
Benny, I think you just thumped the cat with your big old paw. The chain of events that happened, Banshee and Oblivion were playing next to Benjin. Benjin thumped Banshee's tail. Banshee was very upset with this and started attacking the crap out of Oblivion, who he assumed had hit his tail. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Woo! Sorry for that loud boo. Kinda like, I don't know. My bad on that one. I should have muted that down a bit. A little bit more demure of a boo.
Take it one step at a time so that we can understand one bit, and then we'll give more information to understand the next step, then the next step. Because if we give too much detailed information all at the same time, then people go, huh? What? I don't get it. So we take it one step at a time.
For her desperate followers, her confident delivery and mystical framing made the impossible sound not only plausible, but imminent. The medbed fantasy had shifted from conspiratorial daydream into financial exploitation. Sky's followers weren't just vulnerable to scams. The entire conspiratorial environment they had submerged themselves in online had primed them to be taken advantage of.
Sort of like putting Wisteria in water. They were already submerged in it. They didn't have a chance. They just got, you know, predated by these people. Because, y'all, for the record, like Hannah pointed out, medbeds have been a thing since Stargate, since Star Wars. Fuck, Dragon Ball Z, Star Trek. It has always been accepted that at some point, once we get into space travel, we're gonna have, like, semi-magical medical facilities because, well, y'all think about it. If you're out in the Serengeti, if you're in the deep jungle and you receive a paper cut, that can get infected and kill you. Now imagine how bad it is in space where I can't just airship or have a drone drop me some medical supplies. So I get the concept, like, storyline, narratively, why we would need medbeds. Here's the problem. Life, while it is a story, is not a story you get to dictate like that. We don't get to, oh, well, we need this, so of course it's going to happen. In real life, the noble group of people who were cultivating the land and living peacefully die because a drought took out their crops and no one gave a shit. Stories are usually dull and dumb at the end. I hate to point it out. It's not usually a grand and dramatic scene. It's usually, whoop. Sort of like how you never want to have an engineer say, oops. But at the same time, that's just why we should try to demystify things. Make things more real so people are more real about things. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being overly hopeful there that if we pulled away their toys and their make-believe, people would be stuck to live in reality and would choose to make that reality better, not worse. I've actively seen ones like Andrew Tate and several of the toxic male douchebags, and even a few friends that I won't name because they're real people. But I've seen people corrupted by this terrible system and its terrible ways, and it makes me sad every time it happens. But hey, y'all, it's just different, and people are different. For the record, I've been officially unemployed now for about 3 days. I'm still not chomping at the bit to betray my brothers. I'm still not so desperate for money that I'll hurt the cause. Because, y'all, I'm a person same as you. I mean, it's just how it is, right, friends? I'm assuming I'm nothing special. Either way, be better than the people around you, folks, is all I'm saying. Be the thing you want to see change in the world, and then change it. Back to Hannah.
Invest in a vision of miraculous healing that experts supposedly conspired to suppress. All the scammers had to do was to claim to have the keys to that miraculous future, and the money started flowing in.
This is something that I've discussed with the Venusians, especially Amon-Ra. I enjoy shopping from somebody who has never had any money, like no more than $100 in their purse. Because I've had bosses. They'll keep my money. I have a little bit of money because I'm doing a lot of sessions right now, private sessions. So I have some money in my wallet.
The last thing I wanted to touch on with Sky before we move on to the other scammers is she finds herself in a perpetual cycle. She's been scamming people for years based on the same promises that medbeds are just around the corner. And what I find so comically sick and funny about the whole thing is every time it gets close to another prediction point, she will inevitably blame her audience. She'll say, oh, people were sharing videos, or too much got out, so we need to move the date back. The goalposts, of course, always move. The medbeds can never...
Yeah, medbeds like Seventh-day Adventists and fucking religious folks. Those goalposts are on wheels.
The money faucet will turn off. So effectively it turns into a game of Sky promising impossibility. And then when things get a little too hot, when the audience starts pushing her on exactly when it's happening, she'll freak out at them and claim it's their fault that it's taking so long. It's really depressing to watch, to be honest.
After specifically requesting, even putting in the title, do not share. So the training counselor...
I mean, for the record, this could easily be tested. And that's assuming Sky doesn't just have somebody to share the videos so it looks like that. I'm just saying, y'all, it's... Be aware.
They don't respect you, so they don't need your information. Which is a shame because it affects everybody else.
I mean, listen to how nasty she is. Like a parent saying, well, kids, we would have gone to Disney, but you just had to backtalk me. Even though they never had the money to take your ass to Disney to begin with, and they were looking for an excuse. Hope can be just as damaging as hopelessness if you don't give a food for the hope. That's how we breed cynicism and sociopathy.
And now everyone has to suffer.
Once it became clear that there was money to be made in this space, a cottage industry of scammers rushed in to fill the demand. Telegram channels and Facebook groups began advertising medbed sessions for hundreds or even thousands of dollars.
My name is Dr. Lou Hilliard. I am the owner and inventor of Life Force Medbeds. I'd like to welcome you to the Life Force movement, where you can discover your life force by tapping into your life source. So what all comes with the medbed is you get your oxygen.
Nah, I should have used the torch method for those.
Brain wave measuring band, organ blankets, eye massager, massaging gun.
Also, don't breathe atmosphere. It smells really pretty, and I dig it too, but don't do it. It's bad for us. I don't know why I like the smell of atmosphere. That I just assume has been from, like, animatronics and back in the day. Haha. I like the smell of atmosphere. It's just bad for you. It's like, for some reason, I like the smell of gasoline. I don't do it because it's bad for you. But I ain't gonna lie, sometimes when I walk by the gas station, I'm like, ah. Like I'm huffing it. I just smell it in the air.
He's just hilarious. So
Okay, I kind of see why that would be kind of like huffing it.
The MedBed pod is made from a PVC hypoallergenic fire retardant material that has been painted and coated with EMF blocking paint. So we're able to block out most bad EMF.
That's not even a...
5G and 4G made to help your body and help you with
The man made a box out of PVC pipe. The man made a box out of PVC pipe and is selling it to people that don't know the mumbo jumbo he's saying. Like I said, y'all, these people need to be stopped. I just don't know how to go about doing it because it needs to be done in the legal methods. Basically, they have the money to take their product and then use it and sue them when it doesn't work because it will never work. I'm just saying, y'all, MedBed's nonsense. Maybe one day, but for the moment, there's just no woo-woo magic to make your cells heal themselves faster. And if it does have a positive effect, it's likely there's a term for it, but it's the sugar pill effect, placebo effect.
Scammers who have all sorts of grifts. One group of scammers in particular offered remote
Shifu, no barking, it's too early. Shifu, no barking, it's too early. Fuck off. You're probably barking at the cats. Stop, please.
This is an important message.
Alright.
We are a team of hackers and we have captured the quantum frequency of MedBed 1910.
Well, I didn't mean to jump down there.
Technology should not enrich a person, but should benefit humanity for free. That's why we're offering you a free download of MedBed 1910 for life. To do this, all you need to do is watch 5 seconds of auto encryption at the end of the video, then watch 5 seconds on your bed. The download will be completed. End of message.
Others promise early access lists, pay-to-join waiting groups, or connections to secret clinics hidden from mainstream medicine. The pitches vary, but the structure is always the same. Take a conspiracy-primed audience, offer them a taste of forbidden technology, and wrap it all in the language of secrecy and exclusivity. In an ecosystem already trained to distrust experts, any lack of proof becomes part of the selling point, the very thing that makes the fantasy feel real.
Now that side says, I think it's extremely important that you as a visitor of this website who wants to learn about our research know exactly where we stand. How do we see things? How do we research? I have tried to make this clear already in the trailer. Research and science as they exist today are, in my view, highly manipulative. There may be a few researchers worldwide left to research for the sake of researching and not for the sake of the result. Look at the pharmaceutical industry. Studies are being faked by the dozen. I love being a researcher. However, I am a private researcher. I am not a scientist myself. I haven't gone to university. From today's point of view, I have to say this is almost something to be happy about. Because science, as
And I shouldn't have to tell y'all that when someone says they're a researcher, there's a reason that researchers are paid and they do what they do. It does take training to research something properly, and I am not a researcher. But that's just the thing, y'all. We can all learn, but don't call yourself a fake title for what you're not. Just because you hunt with a long-range rifle doesn't mean you're a sniper. Just because you can read a scientific paper doesn't mean you're a researcher. We are what we are, folks. No shame in the game, just be honest. I think we'll let the staircase go down back there. Right now I need to see how wide the... Okay.
technology? What are med beds?
Sean Callahan is the proprietor of USA MedVets and Healthy Life Technology, a refurbished medical equipment dealer operating out of Richmond, Virginia, and San Diego, respectively. Sean got his start selling actual medical equipment, hospital beds, x-ray machines, that sort of thing, to individuals in medical facilities, both in the U.S. and abroad.
Probably built, not physically doing the construction, but equipped well over 15 to 20 hospitals in Africa, Mexico, Latin America, all over the world.
There's nothing wrong with that, of course. Selling people real used medical equipment is a perfectly legitimate business exercise. But apparently, selling beds that just hold patients wasn't exciting enough. Sean wanted beds that could heal your soul through Wi-Fi.
And it's actually that's gotten me into this whole med bed subject, being in the medical equipment industry for the last 15 years.
I am currently on day 113.
Basically a whole other set of technology that's...
And welcome, Stink MC. How are you doing?
Technology, which also has just a massive scope of things that it includes, but it all stems from these med beds and what are med beds.
One day you're selling x-ray machines, the next you're selling magic light beds. Feels like a jump from radiology to vibe medicine. But it is 2025, so I guess I don't know what I expected. At first glance, Sean looks like just another grifter cashing in on desperate people, looking for relief from real pain and illness. But, as I dug deeper, it turns out it's a lot more complicated than that.
When people hear med beds, the first thing they're thinking is, I'm messed up, I've gotten some diagnosis of some kind that's physical, I need help, I need a med bed, and I totally get that. And like I said, I deal every day with people that are really in serious shape. And, I guess for me is if the real med beds aren't here, and I don't know when they're coming, and I deal with people...
And for the record, whenever I finally die on this, I will put it into a playlist like I've done the other one. It's just the Minecraft playlist. If you want to see the Chronicles of the Hardcore mode, go check it out. Normally I don't last 100 days. Normally I die off around 30 to 40. But this time I basically stayed in place, dug down, and just been surviving here. Been pretty fun, to be honest.
That can help these people that have been given these really bad, progressive diseases, or given these types of outcomes where there's really not a lot of hope.
He's the conspiratorial answer to the axiom that one should never get high on their own supply. And I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I just think that's incredibly fascinating.
Also, real talk, if you're new here, currently listening to Hannah cover Medbed Chat, Requiem for a Medbed, a video essay by Hannah Reloaded. Go check her out. She's a really cool creator, really informed and fun. Also, a lot of what she does, while it is scientific adjacent, is very poppy and fun. I use fun too much, but still. Go check her out.
Through your own unrestrained wants and misgivings about the world, you can trap yourself and everyone around you in a system of your own design that takes from everyone and from your own dignity as a human being, only to satisfy an egotistical fantasy of being a fantastical healer with the ability to cure things that medical science cannot.
So, James, this is definitely one of the most popular pieces of actual medbed type technology that's available. These are the plasma energy spheres. These can pick up and advance the multi-wave oscillator technology. Now, the plasma energy spheres are basically sending centipedal, meaning spiraling inward signals into the middle. Riley being in the middle where those two signals collide, that creates a scalar energy field. And all the negative frequencies are removed.
Kind of want to get down to the bottom, just so I can get to the... There we go.
Now, being that this is plasma energy, that energy field becomes toroidal, meaning it's like the shape of a heart. It circles down and back and forth, and as it does that...
I built this earlier when this area needs to be sealed off, because it's more of the wild portion of the mine. Now that we basically made it the main part of the mine, it can be unsealed. And we can slowly work our way down to the main part.
How they're being put together really gets to what we would call off-planet technology. not a very powerful technology that's out there.
And he comes across as genuinely concerned for the people under his so-called care.
All right,
So you think ants have scammers that talk about what the humans want?
basically my neighbors down in Virginia Beach.
Whenever I hear these people talk about millions of years advanced aliens, I just think, do you wonder if ants or termites talk about us this way? Y'all, the giant things that burn us with, like, I don't remember the word. Sherlock Holmes had one. Magnifying glasses. Hey, the giants that burn us with magnifying glasses. Pete says he has a way to talk to them now. Yeah, they're gonna give us, like, magical sugar technology. Or do we just ignore them because they're ants and they're inconsequential to us? I feel like this is how aliens would treat us. Inconsequential. Not like wipe us out unless we pose a threat, but just, you know, oh, it thinks it's important.
You have to go push past that. Because the mind needs to be programmed that it's the success that you're looking for, the outcome that you're looking for has already occurred, and you have to visualize that. But not only that, you have to feel into it.
Ooh, this is getting good.
If you think that it's happened and you're still feeling fear, stress, anxiety, you're getting what you're feeling. So it's really important from a mindset perspective to have that adjusted. Takes time, you know. Normally speaking, for most of us, we've been programmed the opposite.
Okay, gotta move my legs. One's completely asleep.
Through life and getting situations that we are actually creating ourselves, and that's done by how we project everything from our mind.
The law of attraction, the new age idea popularized this century by garbage tier airport gift shop book The Secret, is that your thoughts literally shape reality. Think positive and you'll attract good things. Think negative and you basically ordered disaster off the cosmic menu.
Some of the greatest information and knowledge that we put out on the channel is how to focus the mind to manifest and create your own living reality. And so with any type of situation, whether it's manifestation or recovery or healing or any of these different things, the number one component that must be brought into the mix is the mind. And so already being in a situation where you're assuming the outcome, you're assuming the reality has already happened, and you live in that reality, and you allow your mind and your brain and your pineal and all these gifts that you're given to basically...
At this point, I want to look up what the pineal gland actually does, because I know it does something. All of your body does something. Just, it's probably not nearly as important as these woo-woo people make it out to be.
Assume the outcome that you're looking for is already present tense. There's a huge difference. It's very subtle. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be healthy.
Also, can you not see my days, chat, on the underneath the little avatar right now? Because that's the reason I leave them up there is for y'all. Otherwise, I just pop them on every about once in a blue moon to see how many days have passed. I mean, admittedly, I kind of dig it because it lets me know how I'm doing, like, day-wise. I could never achieve this IRL, but it's still pretty cool. And the main reason I do it, even though it's a little bit distracting, is, you know, for y'all.
As you can understand, we don't make any medical claims. We don't claim to know that. So for anyone who does have a medical condition, as a disclaimer, consult a physician and see a professional person. But
the FDA defines medical device claims as or other similar
What
or
a minute.
related article, including a component part or accessory which is intended for use in the diagnosis of disease or other conditions, or in the cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease in man or other animals, or intended to affect the structure of any function of the body of man or other animals, and which does not achieve its primary intended purpose through chemical action. So basically, if you're claiming that your device can diagnose, treat, or cure any illness or injury to the body, claims need to be evaluated and approved by the FDA. Luckily, as we all know, Sean never makes medical claims.
And the Earth is a big battery, and you are a literal electrical creature. Number one, you fill your body with electricity. You start to see improvements with your blood declustering. It reduces the amount of
Inflammation is caused by a buildup of lactic acid in the bloodstream most of the time. So, increasing your electrolyte content will do nothing for that.
Body resonates with a different frequency. So those 12 frequencies, each part of the body absorbs the frequency that resonates with that. And then something as simple as a patch, a crystal patch.
Okay, that was the cats knocking over the backup keyboard. Why they can't just leave me to create in peace, I don't know. They enjoy being... Would you move, please? Go, scoot, 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 scoot. I know it was probably you've done it. Keyboard gets knocked over. Suddenly, fuzzy creature appears at my feet. I am positive these two things did not coordinate. And I go to move and pick up the keyboard, and the fuzzy creature just sort of clings to my feet. Not helping his case. Fuzzy creature is my cat, by the way. It was Banshee.
One of the main things it does is it cleanses the lymphatic system. It helps push and discharge the body, cleaning out the lymphatic system, cleaning out toxic material. But anybody familiar with far infrared, cryotherapy, and all these different
Here in the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to be getting in their breakfast and starting our cleaning run on the house. So we'll be having to log off of here. But we still got some time left yet. I very much appreciate everyone who's come out and all that. It's for y'all. And also because I'm still like recording and stuff. That way eventually I can look back and maybe even make shorts at some point about these builds. I kind of dig it though. It'll look more impressive once we widen out the dig down silo, the tunnel.
And those frequencies basically go back and forth, and it'll run a cascade of frequencies in different parts of the body. And these are basically the healing frequencies that are the bodies are most receptive to, and the ones that basically do the most benefit. So for the Wave Watch, for me, I have used it for mouth, teeth, and gums. I've had problems with the teeth issues, and then I've also used it for headache. I've used it for fever. It has a lot of detox that's in there. So I do thyroid detox. There's frequency sets for candida. I run a lot of frequency sets for parasites. Also has parasite frequency sets. Double up using those and this, but usually I run the frequency sets for parasites at night. Run them all night long.
And see, this one's particularly funny, y'all. Okay, so if someone vibrates a frequency hard enough inside of you to kill parasites, I don't know how to tell y'all this, but it will kill you too. Vibrations aren't just woo-woo, it's a thing.
Oh, except those claims. Yeah, he does
Oh,
this a lot.
well that explains why it was built that way then, I guess.
Most of them. That's not even from tons of videos. That's from like 3 or 4 videos I put together. He has hundreds of videos on his channel. It's so bad. And the worst part is, I know the FDA is asleep at the wheel right now, so nothing's gonna happen. I guess we just gotta make fun of it. I don't know. I need some kind of catharsis. Now, of course, Sean isn't claiming to have actual alien technology. That would be silly. Though judging by the decor at his center, you would think you'd stumbled onto the set of a low-budget sci-fi original movie. Instead, he claims to deal in technology that is inspired and based upon the alien med beds, but legally distinct.
The and you can imagine all the different reasons that people need ICU equipment at home. I need to provide solutions, and I need to provide options for people today. I'm not in the situation, or I don't have the luxury of saying just hang around and wait for the med beds.
I think the saddest thing about clips like that, assuming Sean is not just a cynical grifter that happens to be a better performer than the others, and to be clear, if you think he is a cynical grifter, that's fair. I'm not telling you you're wrong if you believe that. But to me, the impression I get is he's a man who desperately wants to help other people. He, like most people in the world, especially right now, feels like our ability to make change has slowly been eroded by the systems around us taking power away over time. So he wants to help people so bad, he's willing to self-delude in order to give himself that sense of control, that sense of feeling like he's a part of a community and that he has a part to play.
While I'm up here,
Again, what he's
let's
doing
also
wrong.
see if I can make some shells.
No matter how many disclaimers he gives, we
Shells
all
should
know
be
how
available
this
on this one, right?
Help people don't go into it as a supplement typically to traditional medical care. Usually they completely eschew modern medicine and instead pursue these sort of alternative treatments. So when Sean,
Well, that makes me sad. Maybe they just haven't broken on this one yet.
he's able to help people and give them hope, he's putting them in a situation where they're going to be in danger, where they could risk their health or even their lives. So what do you actually get for your money? The bed lights up, it vibrates, even adds some breathing ozone, which, minor detail, is apparently hazardous for your health, but it is possible that I'm too much of a normie to understand this intense healing experience.
I'm going to go through. It's a very easy piece of technology to use. It's basically on-off switches. The first switch we're going to activate is cell resonance. The second one we're going to activate is ozone. Then we're going to do negative ions. And then we're going to do vibration. And as Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think energy, frequency, vibration. And so this technology is incorporating all those different things in there. Now, vibration can be adjusted. And I know that Catherine likes vibration, so we're going to go ahead and crank up the vibration a little bit on that.
The whole presentation feels like a magic trick. Flashing lights, sci-fi readouts, and 3D body models designed to make you feel like something scientific is happening. Which it isn't, by the way. If anyone needs to hear that, it's literally an infrared sauna cabin. It says, right here, on the screen, infrared sauna. Sean does not know what a sauna is? In case you're curious, by the way, Sean allows people to come in and try his med beds for free. After all, it's effectively a dealership where you come in and look at stuff you might want to buy. On his website, the price of a med bed is almost $20,000, which would be bad enough.
Clearly, I'm in the wrong business, y'all. We should all just jump into hoo-ha nonsense grifting. I'm only kidding, but I mean, if he sells just one of these med beds of his, just one, and he's set for a while, I mean, I don't know. It's sort of like a bottleneck for grifts, because when you charge $10,000 per grift, I mean, you only need to really make one sale. But I mean, also look at who you're selling to. These are the types of people with enough money that might just hunt you down when grandma still dies because your med bed didn't do anything but light up and make them breathe ozone. I said, I don't know. I don't want any of these people to be hurt. I just don't want them to be able to hurt other people anymore. Purple rain, purple rain. My mind is broken, y'all.
Outside of the med bed itself, Sean sells a whole variety of scam products meant to trick the sick, the elderly, and most importantly...
And I would make a joke about the whole, oh, he's going to hit you with the purple light. It's more expensive than the light. But then I thought to myself, well, you did buy that shitty headphone set just because it was purple and paid $3 more for it for purple. So, yeah, I get it. People buy their favorite colors. I'm an idiot, too.
Like, hey, this
It's important to remember, y'all, especially when you judge other people. Remember, you're also an idiot at
Thanks,
times.
FDA. I guess you're still good for something. Seriously, though, it's just a hair dryer. And I actually feel bad for a lot of his marks, because inevitably, certainly, the placebo effect has a large effect on how these people are perceiving the results of these devices. But a lot of these people are just older folks who are dealing with pain or soreness, and it's a heat gun, you know? It's a hair dryer, so it's providing heat to the area and probably at least temporarily relieving their pain. If any of his victims see this video, let me tell you, you don't have to spend $400 on one of these things. You can just get a hair dryer that isn't crap, like at the store, or you could buy a heating pad. On the bright side, you also won't have to interact with Sean, so that's good. So what else is Sean selling? Why, plasma water, of course.
So we're doing a video on the ways to enhance the water with terahertz energy, with the terahertz frequency, but we're adding a whole nother level to it with the plasma energy water. These little vials get infused with plasma energy, and they basically keep that energy running for our lifetime. You can tape them onto like a glass or something clear plastic. This is BPA free. And what it does is it infuses that plasma energy from that vial into that water. I have different ones here. I have clear mouth. I use that to rinse with. Also, it's almost like a mouthwash. And then this is Superman, which is an energy plasma. And now what we're going to do is we're basically going to take our terahertz.
They named their energy plasma Superman. Like they're selling it to children. He's blow drying water, y'all.
Charge a little bit before the video, so I wouldn't have to do the full 30 seconds to do that.
The man's blow drying his water. How do you expect me to write jokes for this? There's too many weird specific claims here for me to tackle, so if you want to pause the video to see how many things they're claiming this magic water can help with, go for it. I'm probably just a hater, though, in desperate need of some meanness buster plus. I think even beyond the med bed, the scam device that bothers me the most is the bioscanner. Basically, they take you into a room, sit you down, put headphones on you, and play music or tones. Meanwhile, the headphones are hooked up to a computer showing a variety of cycling medical diagrams with flashing pulses overlaid. The noise coupled with the visual gives the impression that the device is doing something. The claim is that it's sending signals into the body.
That's the downside to making a labyrinth style base. Sometimes you forget where you're trying to go in your own base. You need to go to the left, but first. Yay, first full set of armor. Boo, I accidentally grabbed a shovel.
This entire device exists to give the impression of action. The lights and sounds all imply a process is happening, when in reality, the surface level aesthetic function is the only thing this machine is designed to do in the first place. What makes this especially troubling is that Sean doesn't come across as a cynical con artist.
It ain't as shiny as I was expecting, though.
What he's selling, and in some ways, that makes him more dangerous. A grifter can be scared off, shut down, or move on once the money dries up. But a true believer, they think they're fulfilling a mission. They'll never stop. Sean isn't just selling devices. He's selling the idea that he's a healer, a provider, someone with a higher purpose in his community, and that conviction means he'll keep pushing these nonsense machines, not just for profit, but for validation. In the end, he's not only giving desperate people false hope, he's giving it to himself. And that's the tragic part of all of this. Medbeds aren't just a goofy sci-fi fantasy or another chapter in the long history of snake oil. They're a mirror showing us how deep distrust, desperation, and the need to believe in something bigger can be weaponized against people who are already suffering. For every grifter cashing in, there are also true believers like Sean who convince themselves they're saving lives when all they're really doing is selling staged products.
Oh, I also haven't slept at all, so once the sun starts to set, those stingray wraith things are coming after me.
It's the way these scams pull people further away from real medical care, real wistful or hopeless. It's human nature to reach for something simple. A story where there's a villain to blame, a miracle cure to wait for, or a guru with all the answers. Whether it's QAnon, New Age woo, or even me making this video and hoping it'll somehow make me feel better, the appeal is the same. A comforting lie that makes a chaotic and unfair world feel neat and under control. But if we want things to get better, it won't come from miracle devices, secret elites, or positive vibes. It'll come from hard, material change. The kind that takes work, risk, and solidarity, not self-soothing fantasies, because the truth is scarier than the lie. No one is coming to save us, but that also means the opposite is true. We're the only ones who can save each other. Have a good night, everyone.
So, you know, that was a good message to end on, I think. Because, yeah, y'all, while there is no savior to save us, no Superman to block out the light of the sky, it also means it's up to us, fellow humans, to save our fellow humans. And we should take that with some degree of honor, and make the good use of it to truly help each other in any way we can. That's just my take on it, though, y'all. I personally think all these grifters, there's a special place for them, and it's not a good place. But that's all just my personal conjecture and opinion. Maybe I should cut the staircase off, because I thought it was a staircase leading up top. Whoopsie. Let's fix this so I don't forget it, and then we'll probably log off. But I do appreciate y'all coming out here. Once again, it's because of y'all's generous donations and generous viewership that I'm able to do this very thing that y'all hopefully enjoy watching. And I thank you for it. Outside of that, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Let me just cut this bridge off since I didn't need it in the end. And then we will probably see y'all later this afternoon to tomorrow. This afternoon we might do a little bit of a Little Big Planet, maybe some Soul Calibur, or we might just come back to do some more Minecraft. We'll definitely be watching something on YouTube or otherwise entertaining ourselves. And I very much, as always, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. And y'all be good. Let me go inside where it's safe for sign off, because I have a habit of signing on. Well, I have a habit of loading the game and then signing on. If I'm not in the safety of my base, there's a very good chance I'll get waylaid. Alright, this feels safe and cozy, right? Alright, y'all. Be good, and we'll see you on the next one. We appreciate you, and thanks for all four of y'all coming out. Special thanks to Stinky or Stink MC for hanging out with us today, and for all the others that came out. We appreciate you, and we'll see y'all later. Bye for now, y'all.